something if I find it extremely relevant.
So let's see.
I'll try not to ruin the show for you.
I don't think you can. I mean,
Well, I
it's
think
all about.
He wants you to. He wants to show what it likes, like what we're doing, like aha moments. That's what he wants to record. Ah, I get it. So it's like
Alright.
this. Okay.
Let's do
To
it.
show other people what it's like to have the veil lifted and to realize the truth. Yeah.
Do you want or allow me to show your face and remove the cover on this camera?
I'm a little camera shy.
Okay, none of that.
Well, at least you're properly dressed.
NASA.
Yeah, actually, you are properly dressed. I think we should do it. I think you're the candidate here. I'll keep on the ship.
Okay.
Maybe we should. I think this calls for camera. I think we should.
Okay, good. We are recording the microphone. When I clap, you can see the red bars there at the top monitor. Okay, we're recording the bottom screen and our voices.
All right.
And if you could, for me, find the flyer I gave you with the room for rent ad.
Here. Found it.
Excellent. I want you to search for that URL. Put that URL in the browser, and here's a keyboard and a mouse. Here, I'll hold it like this for you.
Thank you. There it is.
Oh, yes.
And it's loading.
I need to optimize it, but it really doesn't matter because I'm only allowed to show it for a few people. Ah, good. So this is the roommate ad where we're looking at this. This is my room. And this is my advertisement, and that's my phone number and my name and my Facebook. So if anybody's going to get killed for sharing this publicly, I'm probably going to be first. But if I'm alive, there is hope.
All right, we'll keep that in mind.
And if I'm alive, there's no need to go after the Illuminati with pitchforks just quite yet, because they might help us if I can prove it's in their interest and we don't all go off after them with pitchforks once we learn the truth. So this is us proving to the Illuminati that we are that we have a better option than dying vengefully, killing them.
Hey, knowledge is power. There's a reason why it's guarded.
There's a reason why it's guarded, because they're afraid that once we find out all this truth, we're going to kill them. But I'm going to convince the camera, the audio, and you maybe that's not going to happen, and there's a better, brighter future. So grab the mouse, and we're going to get to a point where I'm going to ask you to click on the mouse and do something.
Okay.
Right now we're going through the slideshow, and here's some of my videos personally that I upload. Some of those are about solutions to Earth catastrophe cycles. Some of those about how to solve poverty. Some of them are about saving humanity from extinction in the near future.
All right.
So when we see something that we're really interested in, we can click on it. Go ahead and move the mouse around a little bit. That's comfortable here. Let me put the mouse there. I think if you do that, and here the mouse is that comfy for you?
Yes, it is.
All right. Oh yeah, so these are flyers that go along with my room for rent ad. And we're going to slowly kind of actually let it go through all 50, 60 pages of the room for rent ad. It's a long ad. It gets boring. I talk about all sorts of things, but each of these are clickable, and you can find out more information. Go ahead and move the mouse over one and see if we get a little clicking sign. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, you're right. So it's in the down. So that's clickable. And let's see on the, is that clickable? That's not clickable. Is that clickable? No, that's not clickable. Oh, that's clickable. So I don't know why we just got a black screen. That's a little weird. Try moving the mouse down to the bottom left, where maybe we'll get a.
It's loading.
Oh, it's loading.
It's loading.
Oh, okay. So you try scrolling down or up a little bit. Maybe we can go to the next slide. Oh, it's on one. That's a little weird. Oh, I see what happened. No. Go to the seeking roommate to help save roommate. We actually clicked on something. It opened a new browser window.
Right.
So we're back to the slideshow, which just keeps going and going
I'm glad we figured that out.
and going. If we click on anything, it opens a new tab, which which opens another slideshow, which keeps going and going and going, probably.
Do you want to go back?
Close the two right ones because they're big files and they take a long time to load. So we'll just stick on this one for now, and that will probably free up our. I think is it just repeating now. Try moving the mouse towards where we get towards the bottom left corner. Yes, change that number 6, or start clicking the arrows to go back manually.
Manual back?
Yeah, or click on the number 5, and let's see what we've got. So start scrolling down through these till we get to something that maybe says solutions for Earth catastrophe cycle.
Right.
Scroll down. Keep going. Let's try there.
Which one?
That's good.
This one?
Yeah, once we get close, we'll start managing it. So use the scroll wheel now and go to the next one. And I'm just going to talk you through these, but just know that most of these have clickable links, and we'll pick one. Well, maybe I should ask you. Maybe we should put it on play, and you should decide which one you want to click most and learn more about.
Okay, let's do that.
All right.
Should we go back?
Just sort of explore it, I guess.
Alright. Start to social political economic exchange revolution. That's a science fiction. Let's check this out. What is the ISS? Sci-fi. Let's see it.
Let's see. It's a maze. It opened up the San Francisco Public Library web page for every story in this issue new, and this was an exhibit they had at the main library. I made some flyers for this, and I hid them in magazines, in science fiction magazines. That's something that my roommate can get his time. If my roommate prints these flyers out and hides them in science fiction magazines in the library.
That's pretty fun. You're like reading about sci-fi, like Scotty beamed me up and is like, hey, it's closer than you think.
It's closer than you think. And my roommate can get price discounts on the rent by spending her time with printing flyers and hiding them in science fiction magazines. Other than that, there's nothing really exciting about this, though. Let's go back to the slideshow. Let's try the next page.
How to pretend to be indoctrinated. How to be pretended to be indoctrinated enough so you can stay out of the re-education camps. Oh, this is so Soviet Union. I mean, pretty modern in China.
It's a meme.
China.
It is but a meme. Nothing serious to worry about here. It's a room for rent advertisement, and there's harmless memes.
Nothing to see here, comrade. Just move on. Chin up, Jimmy, a technocratic oligarchy governed by the algorithms of billionaire autistic geniuses on LSD and Adderall isn't all bad. Or sellers can make more profit by raising prices for the rich while giving more price discounts to the poor with hashtag hope equals price.
Ooh, good reading. Thank you for doing that. I hate my voice.
Well, we all have less stuff to work on.
My roommate, she could spend some time reading this and putting it on YouTube so I can share it that way. and that time spent would get reductions on the rent rate.
Yay.
Time is money.
Especially if you combine it with something that's pretty fun. I mean,
What's the next page? Let's keep going. Oh, this is a good one. What really happened on 9/11? I'm gonna let you read this or think about it. You don't have to click it, but it's pretty interesting if you do.
Here we have a quote by William Cohen, Secretary of Defense. Others are engaging, even in echo type of terrorism, whereby they can alter the climate, set off earthquakes, volcanoes remotely, through the use of electromagnetic waves. Secretary of Defense William Cohen. Alright. Geophysical warfare. I guess he had.
It's all an adventure and exploration.
All right.
Maybe this is where you're supposed to go.
Alright, I'll just go with flow then.
Or you can go back if you want. Whatever you want.
How do I go back? Get that.
It's a user experience recording. Yeah, let's see.
Okay, I figured it out. Well, I guess he had something to go from when he made this quote. Others are engaging. Also, there was information on others. Who are others? I guess
Oh,
they're
that
talking
is
about
a good question.
governments.
Others is
alliance-
pretty vague. If it was governments, I think he would have said governments.
No, it's so vague. Like, it could be alliances. It could be organizations. It could be anything.
I think he's talking about the people who did the picture on the right.
Oh. Okay. Oh, so this is a result of geophysical warfare, you think?
I think so. You know, it's coincidental. It's mentioned in some videos that there was a hurricane headed directly for New York City that was just offshore and reversed course, in fact, on 9/11/2001.
Really?
Yes, not only did the Twin Towers were they turned, well, to what looks like powder, a powder waterfall. Not only were the towers turned into a dust waterfall, the hurricane was driven away from the city, and it would have been the expected loss of life had the hurricane actually hit New York City would have been far greater than died in 9/11 in the Twin Towers.
Do hurricanes, is that like a common thing? Do they reverse?
No.
I haven't really seen it in time on the news where hurricanes were just like reversed.
You know, the news it was weird. The news talked about it at first, a couple days leading up to it. The news was like, "There's a hurricane heading towards New York," and then on the day, that it happened, the news really didn't mention the hurricane much. It was still there on a few rare broadcasts. They would say, "And the hurricane reversed course for no reason we understand." Suddenly, so.
That's an anomaly.
But most of the newscasts just mysteriously cut that hurricane part, and they only talked about the weather 30 miles off the shore, which was actually very nice. So they were like, "Yeah, it's a sunny day in New York," which was true. But yesterday they said, "Yeah, it's a sunny day in New York, and there's a hurricane that we expect to hit tomorrow on 9/11. But when 9/11 came, all the news were like, "Oh yeah, it's a sunny day in New York. We're not going to talk about that hurricane that we thought was going to hit us today."
Huh.
So the news media covered that up. But more important, click on that picture and we will see the Twin Towers turning to dust. Oh wait, sorry. That's an Amazon book about where did the tower go that has all the evidence. You can buy The Truth on Amazon for $50.80. But let's go back to the slide. I want to see a video. Try clicking on the TY, one of the URLs to the right one more. Yeah, click on that one. I know where this one goes. This one's good.
Where'd it go?
Dust. Gone with the wind.
we're talking about the fact that most people see what they expect to see, what they want to see, what they've been told to see, what conventional wisdom tells them to see, not what is right in front of them in its pristine condition.
They didn't burn up, nor did they slam to the ground, but turned into dust in midair.
Although they were demolished in such a way as to look as if they fell, they did not fall at all.
The buildings, in fact, mostly turned to dust before they hit the ground.
You see the steel falling in midair, trailing dust.
It's not hitting anything as it's flying through the air. So why is it turned to powder in midair?
It's not pulverization, it's not vaporization.
I call it dustification. The buildings turn to dust.
Those towers literally disintegrated. They went into dust.
How could so much steel and concrete just vaporize? Did it all turn to dust?
It's incomprehensible for somebody to see something solid turn into dust.
The buildings turn to dust in midair. If you look at it, you can see that.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back.
You have a steel beam flying through the air, and it's dissolving as it flies through the air. It's turning into dust, and it's not hitting anything.
The building was not smashed to bits. So that's why pulverizing doesn't describe it.
No explosions, no heat, no flames.
Vaporization implies high heat. You would have seen the whole building glowing. People would have been blinded by the light.
It's very dense dust. It initially blocked out all of the sunlight, 100% of the sunlight, so it was pitch black. You come to the realization that these pieces of material are becoming dust. They're frothing up into dust as they fall.
And if you watch some of these pieces, you can actually see them turning to dust before they hit the ground.
It turns to dust.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I mean, just like a Star Trek thing. It just, poof, it's gone.
What we saw and what happened on 9/11 was something that we as the public had never seen before.
What happened on 9/11, I believe today it was not a controlled demolition, it was not nanothermite, and it certainly was not the pancake effect of two planes hitting a building.
There's a cluster of core columns that remains here. Watch what happens to them. They just faint.
Here's Building 7, which is a 47-story building. It's like 650 feet tall, approximately. This has got to be over that.
It physically disintegrates in front of your eyes. Not concrete, but steel.
You can see all of this is frothing up into dust. And it's also blowing downward.
That's about 700 feet tall. If that thing tipped over, it would take out a few blocks worth of buildings. How's it going to go straight down? You got a 700-foot hole in the ground, drop it into?
This video is of Building 7. Notice it's one face and one face only that has this lather pouring out of it.
If that's smoke, why is it one face only from ground to roof? That does not look like a fire pouring out a window.
Is basically not touched at all. A few little fires. I mean, it was weird. It was bizarre.
It blew out of one face of the building only, from bottom to top.
These windows are broken.
If it was smoke from a fire and it really needed to get out, why isn't it coming out these windows? If there's a traffic jam, why does it take the path of least resistance? Notice it's spiraling around.
And the wind that day was only like 7-8 miles per hour. It's not pushing out, it's being sucked out, it looks like. And that poured out of the building all afternoon for 7 hours. That's a lot of material.
So basically it was disintegrating from the inside.
By 5:20 p.m., there wasn't enough mass left to slam to the ground.
The walls were like an empty shell.
I wonder how many people out there listening to us right now are just dumbfounded, looking at each other.
Here was these huge buildings that turned to dust in midair right in front of our faces on TV.
Why did so few people see that? Because they were told to see a collapse, maybe?
It does not fall within their learned parameters. Conventional wisdom kicks in, and it says that it's impossible to dustify a building.
The buildings turn to dust before they even reach the ground. You can actually see this happening. You can watch any of the videos from the news channels. They all show the same thing.
We thought we knew what we saw.
A plane hitting the building should not turn the buildings into dust.
We've got to start looking at this whole situation a lot differently than we have up until now.
Free your mind.
They just seem to crumble.
This is not a theory, and it is not speculation.
The proof is staring us right in our face.
Can you call that a collapse?
The building didn't burn up, nor did it slam to the ground, but turned into dust in midair.
The 110-story tower disintegrated in just 10 seconds.
It doesn't look like a controlled demolition or a pancake effect. It looks more like a total pulverization. And it just seems like it's like a waterfall effect, where it's just dust is just accumulating and piling over on each other.
That's not a collapse. And it's not an explosion. It's a building frothing up into powder.
This is 110 stories of building turning to dust in 10 seconds.
It just seems to turn into dust.
The towers did not collapse.
They did not collapse. They were turned to dust.
The towers were not brought down. but instead were turned into dust.
We don't have a word in our vocabulary that describes that. So I've invented a new word, dustification. I kind of define it as the process of turning a solid structure into powder in midair.
Dustified.
There it goes. Wait a minute, that building's turning into dust in midair. Collapses don't do that.
The towers turn to dust. They turn to dust before they hit the ground, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
Minimize it. So, yeah, go ahead.
It does seem pretty counterintuitive of how it just, instead of blocks or panels falling off, or it just turns into really does. I mean, I know this has been said like 20, 50 times, but it is kind of.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is part 3 of a 7-part episode. It was 11 minutes long. Thank you for enjoying that.
Thank you for having me.
I want you to click back on the Seeking Roommate to help save world tab. Move the mouse down a bunch and click on that one. And I just want to remind you that if you ever want to come back and see the rest of these, the way you would do it is you would open a new tab, you would type in the URL from the
this
flyer,
one,
and then you would scroll down to, what page is this?
This is
47. And so you know how to get back here anytime. Find this video again, and there's always more.
I will be checking it out. I've never thought about it like I never asked myself like the question of how.
It's like those craters and how they hit the bullseye, right? They knew exactly within the hour of when and where it would hit, and they had to cover it up.
Like that perception, like that precision. Sorry, precision.
With that precision, they knew exactly where it would hit, and exactly when it would hit, and knew exactly how to cover it up.
You could, for instance, find that video.
Good question.
By clicking on, oh, this is funny. BAS, the Breakaway Secret Society. Enjoy the micronova. This is made from a Mars secret space colony.
Here at the Breakaway Secret Space Society, we've decided to put your minds at ease and let you know what's really going on. We have been on Mars for some time. We have structures and technology you wouldn't believe. We don't need to take ships to and from our new home anymore when we visit Earth to conduct our affairs. We don't get sick and we age at a fraction of those of you on Earth. While you toil away believing whatever nonsense the governments and media tell you, you are like the greatest reality show for us as we watch from amongst the stars, literally. We are not only given superior treatments and nutrition, but bioamplifying technology and the most advanced suit technology until our geoengineering makes the air breathable up here. We know you may be concerned about our intentions, but rest assured, we know the Earth is fucked, same as you do. We didn't want to be eaten when the chaos begins, and when nature throws her hat in the ring, we figured we'd rather be on the planet prepared to wake up again. We now have a fully working society. We use the base minerals of the planet and the most advanced plasma technologies, hundreds of years beyond what you have on Earth, and they're integrated with the crustal magnetic fields of Mars. We use them to easily transport to and from our orbiting suite, where the pleasures of humanity can still be enjoyed as much as possible for the delicate balance of mind. The automated assistants first unveiled on the suite are now also assisting in the mining and terraforming activities. Truly, there isn't much hard work left for the rest of us to do, but travel to the various sites around the planet. We can see hundreds of sites in a day. And of course, the most haunting for all of our elite guests is the first tragic attempt to send our vast resource haul back to Earth. We now use it as a remote terraforming laboratory. We've brought along top scientists to help us understand how our new world is behaving in light of our geoengineering. We recently also gained the ability to take our pets on walks around the dunes. We really are trying our best to keep our way of life going and to get a head start on the next stage. We're going to begin our space interactions immediately after the coming event, and we're making preparations already, including stocking the ancient shelter under the Phobos monolith. As the Phobos portal has recently opened, we are now making careful calculations of orbit, solar wind interactions, surface charging, and elemental deposition, just to make sure our backup plan is rock solid. Why are we telling you this? Because it doesn't matter anymore. We're already up here. Nobody believes you anyway. Nobody listens to you. Good luck when you try to bring this up. But again, we wanted to assure you, humanity will live on, in us, because here at BASSS, we care about the future, just not yours.
Guys, I'm super excited to tell you that this video is a collaboration with the History Guy channel. So while this video is about Maxwell's equations, they have simultaneously uploaded a fascinating video on the interesting life of James Clerk Maxwell. Check out their video at the link in the description. Think of any high-tech appliance you routinely use, your phone, your TV, your computer, your refrigerator, toaster, light bulb, your car, just about anything. And I can guarantee that some engineer, somewhere, sometime, used one of these equations to design it. Almost all modern technology is based on them.
is part of science.
Absolutely right. I have a meme about that.
You do?
I haven't made a printable postcard yet, but if you were my roommate and you just edited, so if you were in seeking roommate info and you scroll down to, let's see, here's my memes. No, that's solutions. Where's my memes? I think it might be in this meme. This is the flat Earth meme where I hid a lot of truths and secret science behind a flat Earth cover story. The flat Earth movement is really kind of clever, the way they hide truths behind fiction.
That's one way of.
You know, they say that only comedians get to tell the truth. Flat Earthers also. No one will believe them. If a flat Earther says the Illuminati such and such or the world is going to end, no one cares. So from the Room for Rent ad, you can get to many, many more videos, music videos, MIA, movie videos about Birkeland currents, which is some advanced electric universe.
All right.
Galactic Alliance News, Girkfit and Mir. They're awesome. They talk about Earth catastrophe cycle from an extraterrestrial perspective. They claim to be an alliance of non-terrestrials, and they say things about Earth catastrophe cycle that I know are true from a science perspective. So these are one of my favorite non-terrestrials presences on Earth media. They're just Earth media. They just channel though. They're not like you can't actually see a real biological alien or anything. We have Egyptology and the Electric Universe. This is a great one from the playlist.
What is their perspective on electricity and its development, shaping?
It's a translation key to reverse engineer Egyptian technology using hieroglyphs.
Oh.
So most people think,
Hi everyone, and welcome to the website God Electric. In this short video, I aim to show you the electric cosmos using ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. To understand this, you'll need to forget the old phonetic hieroglyph translation and use the new pictographic translation, which is obtainable on the website. We will begin by explaining the hieroglyphs for positive and negative charge. The hieroglyph on the right was traditionally seen as a loaf of bread. However, at God Electric we have deciphered this hieroglyph to mean negative charge or cathode. Being the negative charge hieroglyph, it can have a similar meaning to the electron or an anion. An anion is an ion with more electrons than protons, giving it a net negative charge. In Greek, the word anion means up, and you'll notice that this is the upward side of a semicircle. On the left side you will see the hieroglyph that traditionally meant God, but was often drawn as a basket. Using the God Electric website, this has been deciphered to mean positive charge or anode. It is the opposite side of the circle to the negative charge hieroglyph and used to describe the ionosphere, or the stars in an electric universe, as the positive electrode. It can have a similar meaning to the word cation and comes from the Greek word down. Being the downward side of the circle, it is an ion with fewer electrons than protons, giving it a net positive charge. Here you'll see Nut, or Nut as she is commonly known. She is pictured as the backbone supporting the stars, forming the circuitry of the cosmos. Nut is female, often shown with her breasts exposed to symbolise that she nourishes both planets and stars with God's electricity. Egyptologists, however, understood her to mean only the sky, but at God Electric we have deciphered the hieroglyphs as pictograms, revealing that she is actually the plasma link supporting the flow of negative charge to a charge store. In other words, she is the flow of negative charge in space. Being the backbone of the stars, she is the neural pathway of the cosmos. In an electric galaxy, stars are positive charge anodes. Current flows inwardly to the centre of the galaxy along its spiral arms, and this is shown by Nut's arched body.
Something called a Dendera light bulb in Egypt hieroglyphs.
To understand the next slide about nuts, you'll need to know the truth about the ostrich feather, which is actually deciphered by God Electric to mean a collector. If you go to the British Museum, on the first floor you'll see the following artefact that the museum calls a fan. At God Electric, we believe this is actually an ancient Egyptian feather duster, and we believe this specifically because the ostrich feather is used in its construction. Ostrich feathers are used in dusters because of their intrinsic ability to hold electrostatic charge. This allows the feather duster to lift dust from the surface of objects because opposite charges attract. The ostrich feather, therefore, always has the meaning of a collector. Nut is shown kneeling down.
What's going to happen if you shoot a lot of electrons into a rock is the electrons will become attached to like the atoms in the rock, and that will cause the rock to feel a pressure, an electron pressure. Like just if you injected air into something, it would pressurize and want to explode. If you inject a bunch of electrons into something, the electrons all push away from each other along with pushing away the atoms they're attached to, and can turn things like rock and concrete into dust.
Oh, so that explains how they would cut stone so precisely.
Well, yes and no. So yes, that's a technique they used. The pyramids have been rebuilt several times, usually with inferior technology from the original building. So most of our megaliths have a more complicated history than you would expect. The Earth gets electric terraformed every 12,000 years, and a lot of the monuments get destroyed, torn up like the pyramid, and they stop working. They have a function to lower the ionosphere. It's complicated, but this video and channel will explain everything you need to know to understand Egyptian electrical engineering and plasma science.
That explains then how the building towers will turn into dust that quickly.
That was the technology. The Egyptians knew that technology, and but that's not where we got the technology from. It was rediscovered by the Hutchinson effect, which is also in this playlist. Oh, this is the other playlist. So this one has 2,554 videos. Somewhere in here, and I scrolled just past it. Oh, vibrational electromagnetic properties of, no, that's not it. Solar commentary, recurring nova, Earth core science. Somewhere in this long playlist is a video that will tell you exactly what you're asking about. Oh, this is so cool. Electric discharges underground. Earthquakes are actually underground lightning bolts. Did you know that?
Really? No.
It's awesome science. This is the reproducing things.
I've seen some videos how thunder would just ravage the ground around it. That's just like
this.
Let's see how that does. Just electrical discharges.
Well, they can cause volcanoes or earthquakes. Let's see, what else do we have? The movie Pyramid K. This is a fascinating movie. It's so long though. Oh, and Tartaria Tech. Tartaria Tech is all about lost technology of the like 1700s, 1800s, 1300s, the breakaway civilization. There's been like secret technology hidden in plain sight in our architecture, our buildings, our ancient monuments with these dome structures. Those domes had machine functionality, and will have machine functionality again in the near future, probably somewhere around 2048 actually. So all these answers are here. Internal Earth cosmic ray alert continues. Suspicious observers are great. I talk about them a lot because they are the expert on Earth catastrophe cycle. And if you follow this click path, you can get to...
Good morning, folks. We've got the death of the sunspot, cosmic rays continue, earthquake prediction, ocean news, and the internal skeleton of Earth. We begin, as always, over at spaceweathernews.com and find the last day was quiet. We've still got the bright active regions, but they are not flaring. It is early in the sunspot cycle, and they're taking the when in Rome approach. The solar wind is the more relevant story, still bottomed out, and looking at the KP green down at the bottom line.
This is all suppressed science. That's labeled pseudoscience on Wikipedia. Will never be on mass media, but it's used by the deep state, the military-industrial complex. Major nations know it. Presidents who have a need to know it. Jeffrey Epstein will tell a president or a politician all about this if you give him incriminating evidence against you that he would use if you spilled the secret publicly. So if you're like a mass media person, right, and you need to know about the end of the world, they can't allow you to tell that to the public. So what they often do is Epstein would come by and offer to sell you information in return for extortion evidence against you. And if you don't have any, he will help with that, of course, in the seedy ways we've read about on TV. Jeffrey Epstein was is in this mentioned in the slideshow as being, let's see, where's my Epstein slideshow? And you can get to all of this, keep in mind, from the Room for Red Dad. So this is a slideshow of different memes that we share, make into postcards. Oh, here we go. Jeffrey Epstein. Read this. This will interest you. Or maybe it might not. If it's boring, don't read it.
Science activist Jeffrey Epstein holds a conference of Nobel laureates to define gravity. What was his connection with scientists like laureates that work on gravity?
Jeffrey Epstein was the information controller for the secret scientist. There are these people who work on, well, weapons that turn 9/11 into dust. Somebody built that. Somebody designed it. Maybe whole teams of people know about this. Other nations obviously know about it. Heads of state all know about it.
Well, someone has to go and kind of organize that censorship, like not being directly a member of official bodies.
Somebody, Jeffrey Epstein, gets bounties on people who know things to control them. Jeffrey Epstein was funding a lot of science that can't be told to the public for various reasons, either political, power reasons, or safety reasons. Like certainly you wouldn't want your nuclear scientists telling the public how to build weapons. We can all agree on that. And that weapon that destroyed the Twin Towers, right? Remember that video?
I certainly don't want anyone having that kind of power. Unless there's a way to...
Oh, wait. Here's a guy who will tell you the technology. This is a 3-hour, 15-minute video. It's only really part of what you need to understand. This is Tree of Life, exotic vacuum objects at work. He's researching a form of ball lightning first. He's with the the Martin Fleischmann Memorial Project. Those were the cold fusion researchers in the 1980s. I don't know if you're old enough. Do you remember Reagan's Star Wars program? Reagan was a president from long ago, and he said, I'm going to create weapons in space to protect us from Russia. And
Steve Whetstone, thank you for sharing free information, knowledge and wisdom. I have been number pirate shipping. Share your videos in Facebook groups for number Electric Universe and number S4ECC 2048.
This is the technology on how it works. And this is a pirate video of the original video by Martin Fleischmann Memorial Project, just in case of takedown to prevent censorship. I upload this to secret places. So, you know, if I die, by the way, and anyone's listening to this, all the videos, all my pirate videos, yeah, they go public in every way I can imagine, of course. So, if the Illuminati or the people don't really like this technology being talked about by me, too bad. Learn to live with it, because killing me will just make more of it come public. Anyways, this is what I do as a pirate all day. This is, I share technology. I think we can scroll through this, and it's pretty boring stuff, and requires a lot of prerequisites.
You have to be a researcher, like something particular that will catch your attention. Or if you're looking for answers, you just want to understand
sort of terraforming and making the everything you need for life. Okay, so what I'm showing you here now is, when I will, is the actual slide from the 4th of October 2018, but the real slide that I modified for that presentation is Seek and Share in Sochi, which is O-Day slide 52, so I'll show you that now. So it's called a Sumerian Tree of Life. And what we have here is something from 2017 from the Lion 1 inside of the quartz core, and you see something here that's bleeding out and deposits something here. It comes over here, pauses, comes over here, pauses, comes around here, pauses, comes round, pauses, and it's kind of leaving a trail behind it. It's like a vine. It's like a vine, and then it ends up with little flowering points along it. This is Shoulders from 2004, and
definitely didn't think about our geophysical warfare, like what capacity there is, like how electricity works to manipulate genetic forces and just material. That was pretty interesting to hear and to learn. Definitely check out the links.
Room for a rent letter. One link will get you all the answers in the world in 5 clicks.
So that's it right there. Thank you for sharing me that link with me.
Yeah. Okay.